Welcome to EnglishVerse, where every conversation helps you speak English.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to EnglishVerse.
We're really happy you're here today. Before we begin, we have one small request.
Please don't play this podcast like background music. Listen carefully, repeat our sentences if you can, and try to think in English while you're listening.
Even if you understand only 70 or 80% today, that's completely okay. Every conversation you listen to makes your English a little stronger.
So, Daniel, let me ask you something. Have you ever sat down to work, opened your laptop, looked at your to-do list, and thought, today I'm finally going to finish everything?
More times than I can count.
And then?
Then I checked my phone for what I believed would be just 1 minute. One message became 3 messages. One short video became 5. Before I realized it, almost an hour had disappeared.
I think everyone listening has experienced that at least once.
Probably more than once.
The funny thing is, we rarely notice it while it's happening. We only notice it later when we ask ourselves, where did all my time go?
And that's when the guilt begins. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you'll be disciplined. Tomorrow you'll stay focused. But tomorrow often looks exactly like today.
For a long time, I believed I had a focus problem.
Really?
Yes, I kept telling myself, maybe I'm just not disciplined enough.
I used to think the same thing, but one day I realized something that completely changed the way I looked at productivity.
What was it?
I didn't have a focus problem. I had a distraction problem.
That's such a simple sentence, but it changes everything. Because if distractions are the real problem, then maybe we don't need to learn how to focus. Maybe we simply need to stop giving away our attention.
Exactly. Think about a little child building a puzzle. Nobody teaches that child how to focus, yet they can spend an hour doing only one thing because they're completely interested in it.
Which means the ability to focus has always been inside us. The real question is, what keeps pulling our attention away?
Today, the answer is obvious. Our phones, social media, notifications, messages, emails, even advertisements compete for our attention every second.
Years ago, people had to search for distractions. Today, distractions search for us.
That's why staying focused feels harder than it did 10 or 15 years ago.
Sometimes we blame ourselves without realizing that thousands of people are working every day to keep us scrolling.
That's true. Many apps are designed to make you stay just a little longer. One more video, one more post, one more notification.
And every one more quietly steals another minute of your life.
Let me ask everyone listening a question. When was the last time you worked on one task for 30 minutes without touching your phone?
Don't answer us. Answer yourself, because that answer tells you more than you think.
You know, Emma, I used to believe I was lazy.
What made you change your mind?
I learned that our brains love quick rewards. Every notification gives us a tiny feeling of excitement. Every like, every message, every short video. Our brain begins expecting that feeling again and again.
Which explains why reading a book sometimes feels difficult, while watching 20 short videos feels effortless.
Exactly. The problem isn't that books became boring. The problem is that our brain became used to constant entertainment.
That's a powerful idea, because if we train our brain to expect excitement every few seconds, deep work naturally feels uncomfortable.
But uncomfortable doesn't mean impossible.
Absolutely. Most people quit because they think that uncomfortable feeling will last forever. The truth is, it usually disappears after a few minutes.
I've noticed that too. The first 5 minutes are often the hardest, but once I become fully involved in my work, I almost forget about my phone.
That's because your brain finally settles down. It's like pushing a heavy car. The first push requires the most effort. After that, it starts moving more easily.
I love that example.
Here's another interesting question. Do you think successful people are simply more motivated than everyone else?
I don't think so. Motivation is temporary. Some mornings you wake up excited. Other mornings you don't feel like doing anything.
Exactly. If motivation depended only on motivation, very few people would ever achieve their goals.
So what matters more?
Habits, because habits continue working even when motivation disappears.
Can you give us an example?
Of course, imagine two students preparing for an important exam. The first student studies only when they feel motivated. The second student studies every evening at the same time, whether they feel motivated or not. After 1 year, who do you think will know more?
Without a doubt, the second student.
Because routines are stronger than emotions. Feelings change every day. Habits stay.
That's why waiting to feel ready can be very dangerous. Many dreams stay unfinished because people keep waiting for the perfect moment.
And the perfect moment rarely arrives.
Exactly. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply begin.
Even if you're not confident, even if you're tired, even if you don't feel inspired.
Action creates momentum, and momentum creates focus.
I remember meeting a man who wanted to write a book. For 3 years, he kept saying, "I'll start next month."
3 years?
Yes, then one day he made a very small promise to himself. He would write for only 15 minutes every morning.
That doesn't sound like much.
It isn't, but after a few weeks, 15 minutes became 30, 30 became 60. A year later, he had finished his first book.
That's amazing.
The biggest change wasn't the amount of time he worked, it was the fact that he finally started.
I think many people underestimate small beginnings.
They do. Everyone wants big results. Very few people appreciate small, consistent actions.
But every great achievement begins with one small step.
Exactly. 1 page, 1 email, 1 lesson, 1 conversation, 1 focused hour.
And those small actions slowly become something extraordinary.
So maybe today we shouldn't ask ourselves, how can I become more productive? Maybe we should ask, what's the one distraction I can remove today?
Because sometimes success isn't about adding more, it's about removing what doesn't belong.
I couldn't agree more. And once you protect your attention, you'll be surprised by how much you're truly capable of.
You know, Emma, there's another mistake I see people make almost every day.
What's that?
They try to do everything at the same time. They answer emails, reply to messages, watch videos, listen to music with lyrics, and somehow expect themselves to produce their best work.
That's called multitasking. And honestly, I think it's one of the biggest myths about productivity.
I agree. People think they're doing 5 things at once, but in reality, they're just switching their attention every few seconds.
And every time your attention switches, your brain has to start over again. That takes energy. It takes time. And before you know it, you're mentally exhausted without actually accomplishing much.
Have you ever started writing an important email, then someone texted you, you replied, opened Instagram for just 1 minute, watched a few reels, and suddenly forgot what you were doing?
More times than I'd like to admit.
I think almost everyone has experienced that.
The problem is that distractions don't just steal time, they steal momentum.
Exactly. Momentum is like riding a bicycle. Once you're moving, everything feels smooth, but every interruption forces you to stop, and starting again always takes extra effort.
That's why deep work is becoming such a valuable skill.
Deep work?
Yes, working with complete attention on one important task for a period of time. No phone, no unnecessary conversations, no endless notifications, just you and your work.
That sounds simple.
It does, but simple doesn't always mean easy.
So how can someone actually build that habit?
Start smaller than you think. Don't promise yourself 3 hours of perfect focus. Promise yourself 25 minutes.
Only 25?
Yes. During those 25 minutes, do only one thing. When the timer ends, take a short break. Stand up, stretch, drink some water, then come back and repeat.
I like that because it doesn't feel overwhelming.
Exactly. Our brain handles small challenges much better than impossible ones.
You know what changed my mornings?
What?
I stopped checking my phone the moment I woke up.
That must have been difficult.
At first it was. My hand reached for my phone automatically, almost without thinking. But after a few days, I noticed something surprising.
What happened?
My mind felt calmer. Instead of filling my brain with other people's messages, news, and opinions, I had space to think for myself.
That's such an important point. The first hour of your morning often shapes the rest of your day.
Exactly.
If the first thing you see every morning is stress, your brain stays stressed. If the first thing you do is focus, your mind learns that focus comes first.
So what does your morning look like now?
It's actually very simple. I drink water, spend a few quiet minutes planning my day, write down the single most important task, and I begin working before opening social media.
I noticed you said the single most important task, not 5 tasks, not 10, just one.
That's intentional. Long to-do lists used to make me feel busy before I even started. Now I ask myself one question. If I finish only one thing today, what should it be?
That's a powerful question, because once you complete the most important task, everything else feels easier.
Exactly. Instead of chasing everything, I focus on what matters most.
I think many people confuse being busy with being productive.
That's true. You can spend the whole day answering messages and still make no real progress.
Being busy fills your schedule. Being focused moves your life forward.
I wish more people understood that.
Me too. Another habit that quietly destroys focus is comparing yourself to other people.
Social media makes that so easy.
Yes, you open your phone to take a 5-minute break, then you see someone getting promoted, someone buying a new car, someone traveling the world, someone starting a successful business.
And suddenly you're questioning your own progress.
Exactly. Instead of working on your goals, you're measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel.
But here's the truth. You don't know what happened behind those photos. You don't see the failures, the hard work, the sacrifices.
Confidence steals focus, and when confidence disappears, focus often disappears with it.
So who should we compare ourselves to?
The person we were yesterday. That's the only comparison that truly matters.
I love that. If you're a little more disciplined today, a little kinder, a little more focused, then you're already moving in the right direction.
Progress doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's simply choosing to ignore one distraction you would have followed yesterday.
Those small victories matter more than people realize.
They really do, because every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. And once confidence grows, focus becomes easier.
Emma, can I ask you something personal?
Of course.
Daniel, have you ever worked for an entire day and still felt like you achieved almost nothing?
Oh, definitely. There was a time when I stayed busy from morning until evening, but when I looked back at my day, I realized I had been busy, not productive.
What helped you change that?
I stopped measuring my success by the number of hours I worked. I started measuring it by the quality of my attention.
That's a lesson more people need to hear. 2 hours of deep, focused work can often produce better results than 8 hours distracted.
Exactly. When your attention is fully on one task, your mind becomes clearer, you think better, you solve problems faster, and your work becomes much more meaningful.
I remember reading about a successful entrepreneur who was asked, "What's your biggest productivity secret?"
What did he say?
He smiled and answered, "I protect my mornings."
I love that answer.
Every morning, before checking emails or social media, he spent 2 hours working on the most important project of the day. No meetings, no notifications, no unnecessary conversations, just complete focus.
That makes perfect sense. Our minds are usually fresh in the morning. If we spend that energy scrolling through our phones, we're giving our best attention to things that don't really matter.
Exactly. Imagine starting a race after you've already walked 5 kilometers. That's what we do to our brains when we begin every morning with endless notifications.
That's why I made one simple rule. For the first hour after waking up, my phone doesn't decide how my day begins. I do.
I really like that. It reminds us that every morning is a fresh opportunity to make better choices.
And speaking of choices, let's talk about breaks.
That's interesting because many people think taking a break means they're being lazy.
But that's not true at all. Our brains aren't machines. They need time to recover. The important thing is choosing the right kind of break.
Exactly. Instead of opening social media, stand up, stretch your body, drink some water, walk around for a few minutes, or simply look out the window and let your mind relax.
A good break gives your brain energy. A bad break steals even more attention.
Emma, if you could give everyone listening just one piece of advice about focus, what would it be?
I'd say this: Don't try to change your whole life overnight. Just protect one focused hour every day. 1 hour without distractions. 1 hour where your phone stays away. 1 hour where your full attention belongs to your most important goal.
That's only 4% of your day, but it could completely change your future.
Absolutely. One focused hour every day becomes 7 hours every week, around 30 hours every month, and hundreds of hours in a year. Imagine what you could achieve with that kind of consistency.
Maybe you'd finally become fluent in English. Maybe you'd learn a new skill. Maybe you'd start the business you've been dreaming about. Or maybe you'd simply become the person you've always wanted to be.
That's the beautiful thing about focus. It doesn't change your life in one day. It changes your days and eventually your life.
Before we finish, I'd like everyone listening to remember one sentence. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most.
There will always be distractions. There will always be excuses. There will always be another video to watch or another notification to check. But there will never be another today.
So if there's something important you've been postponing, don't wait for next Monday. Don't wait for next month. Start today, even if it's only for 15 minutes.
Progress doesn't belong to people who never get distracted. It belongs to people who notice the distraction, smile, and gently bring their attention back to what truly matters.
That's how discipline is built, not through perfection, but through consistency.
Before we say goodbye, we'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest distraction in your daily life?
Share your answer in the comments. Your experience might encourage someone else who's facing the same challenge.
And if today's conversation helped you improve your English while learning something valuable, please give this video a like.
Don't forget to subscribe to EnglishVerse and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly English conversations.
Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Keep learning, keep improving, and most importantly, keep protecting your focus.
Because your attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Spend it wisely.
Until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, stay consistent, and never stop believing in what you can achieve.
We'll see you in the next episode of
Both EnglishVerse. Goodbye, everyone.